All right, so this is why Elon Musk said that Tesla sold their Bitcoin. Listen to this, listen to this. Here we go.
Yeah, actually, it should be mentioned that the reason we sold a bunch of our Bitcoin holdings was that we were uncertain as to when the COVID lockdowns in China would alleviate. So it was important for us to maximize our cash position given the uncertainty of the COVID lockdowns in China. We are certainly open to increasing our Bitcoin holdings in future. So this should not be taken as some verdict on Bitcoin. It's just that we were concerned about overall liquidity for the company given COVID shutdowns in China. And we have not.
I don't know. Do you believe that?
About Dogecoin.
Do you believe that? Do you believe that that's the real reason why Elon Musk actually sold Tesla's Bitcoin? I'm going to show you today why what he said is absolutely not true. So I'm going to show you why it's not true. And then we're going to look at the Bitcoin price. And specifically, I want to look at one thing on the Bitcoin price. And that is this thing over here. We are now, if you look on the weekly, so let's go to the weekly chart, the Bitcoin weekly chart. And you will see that we are now back under the 200 week moving average. So that's another big level. So today we're going to talk about Tesla. I'm also going to bring you the man who called the bottom to the day. He's here on the show and he's going to tell us exactly what's happening. We're going to talk about the ECB rate hike and what that means for crypto. We're going to dissect the whole Tesla situation. And I'm going to show you why what Elon Musk says is absolutely not true. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be a big show. Let's do it. You know what I was shocked about yesterday? I was shocked about how quickly the fact that Elon Musk or Tesla sold their Bitcoin filtered into the market. It took 3 minutes and 36 seconds for the first tweet to be published after the results were published that Elon Musk or Tesla dumped their Bitcoin. And in fact, in most news outlets, the thing that they reported about was actually the fact that Elon Musk and Tesla dumped their Bitcoin. So they didn't even talk about the results. And maybe that's what we're going to be looking out for. That's maybe what we're going to be looking out for. Yeah, we're going to talk about all of that today. We're going to talk about the prices. As I said, I'm going to bring you the man who called the Bitcoin bottom to the absolute day. He's coming on our show today, and he's going to tell us what's happening next. He's going to tell us whether this is a pullback to the trend line, which is kind of like exactly what Sheldino Tentino says. He's been following the trend line. He's kind of saying, look, all of these guys are just going back to the trend lines. Look, if you look at everything, let's start off by looking at the 4 hour. So if you look at Bitcoin on the 4 hour, there's your trend line. You got Bitcoin coming back towards trend. Sheldon at the time was a little bit uncomfortable. He said, look, it's moving up a little bit too quickly and we need some kind of pullback. And yesterday when this happened, he actually said to me, he said, this is the pullback we've been waiting for. He always says that the news comes out, the news backs up what the charts are telling you. In this case, it was almost uncanny because that's exactly what he said. He said he's waiting for the pullback. And you can see that it's happening with all the altcoins. So look at, you got AVAX over here pulling back towards the trend line. You've got Ethereum still just under $1,500. So that's doing pretty well. You got Cardano also pulling back towards the trend line. So that's what Elon Musk's sale of $1 billion worth of Bitcoin did. And that's what we're going to break down today in the show. We're going to break down why Elon Musk actually sold and what does this actually mean for this bull market rally or bear market rally that we're having right now. So that's what we're going to do today. What I need you guys to do, because I've done my bit, is I need you to smash the like. I need you to subscribe to the channel. Because when you smash a like, that is what tells the YouTube algorithm that we're here and we're having fun with you guys. Also today, I'm coming to you literally broadcasting off the internet of my mobile phone because there is no internet where we are today. So really trying our hardest to bring you guys a big show. So show us some love in the comments. Let's have some fun.
Let's do it.
Carl, do you believe that Elon Musk sold his Bitcoin because of what's happening in China?
No.
Absolutely not. Absolutely
Yes,
not. Absolutely not. And if you look at what happened last night, so the results came out at 10 o'clock our time. And by 10:03, there was a tweet. But then by 10:05, there was a tweet by DB, which is one of our good news sources. And this is where he said that Tesla sold $936 million of digital assets. And if you go back to the hourly chart, let's actually go back to Bitcoin. Let's actually go to the hourly chart and let's look at what happened. So I think you're going to see a lot of things here which are going to give you a lot of clues. So let us get rid of that and let's look at the hourly chart, and let's go to 10 o'clock last night, 8, 9, 10. There we go. 10 o'clock last night is there. That's where we were. We're hovering around 26,300, and then bang, we went all the way down within 2 hours, or within a couple of hours, we were back at $22,693. So that was the effect of the Elon Musk selling. And I think the irony here is if you look at when Elon Musk actually bought. So let's go back to the day when Elon Musk actually bought, or when they announced that they actually bought Bitcoin. And I think that was somewhere around, let's go back here and let me show you this. Okay, so it was around Feb 2021. So you look at it around here. That is when they announced that they bought their Bitcoin, and they set off a huge bull market. They set off this whole bull market was actually started off because the richest man in the world and his companies bought Bitcoin. And people thought that the reason why Elon Musk bought Bitcoin was because of a conversation or discussion with Michael Saylor, which started off on Twitter. So Elon tweeted that, and then what you had, if you want to do your shareholders $100 billion favor, convert the Tesla balance sheet from USD to Bitcoin. Other firms on the S&P 500 will follow your lead, and in time it will become $1 trillion favor. So Michael Saylor did his sales pitch to Elon Musk, and there was speculation at the time, and we had Michael Saylor on our show, and we asked him, did you actually get involved and speak to Elon Musk? And he said, look, I can't talk about private discussions that I've had with Elon Musk, hinting that he had actually spoken to Elon Musk, and he got Elon Musk to buy Bitcoin for his companies. Let's carry on the history lesson, then we'll break down the reasons, and I'll show you why what Elon says doesn't actually make sense. So they announced around February 8th that they bought $1.5 billion worth of Bitcoin. So we're going to go back to the charts, and we're going to go to February 8th. So it is about there. There we go. And you can see that big green candle on February 8th. Let me make it a bit bigger for the guys who are watching us on their mobile phones. And you can see that big green candle, that big green daily candle. That was the daily candle when Elon Musk announced that he bought it. And he sent the Bitcoin price up from 38,670, and that sparked the first bull run, which took us to $65,000. So that is the history. Then what happens then? So they announced this March 24th, which is a month and a half later. He announces that you can also buy Bitcoin, buy Teslas using Bitcoin. And he said, pretty interestingly, in the next tweet, he said, Bitcoin paid to Tesla will be retained as Bitcoin and not converted to fiat currency. So that's what he said. He said, look, any Bitcoin that we get is not going to be swapped for fiat currency. Cool. What happens then? Let's keep following the timeline. So if Feb 8th, Tesla announces that they bought Bitcoin. They announced that they actually started buying it in January, earlier that year. Then I think this was April, 28th of April. So again, follow the timelines. 24th of May, they're going to accept Bitcoin. 28th of April, a month and 4 days later, Elon Musk says Tesla sold Bitcoin. They sold 10% of their Bitcoin. Why? Because he said they were trying to test the liquidity. He tried to sell it as if he was selling to his board that you could sell Bitcoin into the market. And all they actually wanted to do was to test the liquidity of Bitcoin. So that you can see came out in a tweet here where Cointelegraph published something. And he said, this is inaccurate. Tesla only sold 10% of their Bitcoin holdings to prove that Bitcoin could be liquidated easily without moving the market. And so that's what he said. That's what he said. He said, when there's confirmation of reasonable, more than 50% clean energy usage by miners with a positive future trend, Tesla will resume allowing Bitcoin transactions. And the reason why he said that is because a couple of months after they sold, they then published in May 12th. So on May 12th, they published, I think Elon published a tweet, and he said, Tesla will stop accepting purchases, Bitcoin for car purchases. And the reason he cited for that was he said that Bitcoin is using too much bad energy, and it was hurting the environment. And as a company which is aiming to be the leader of clean energy companies in the world, they can't be seen to be accepting Bitcoin. It just didn't make sense from an ESG point of view. And at the time, we speculated, along with a whole lot of others, that the reason why they were doing this is because the board members actually put Elon Musk under pressure, and because a lot of their board members had a big ESG, environmentally friendly agenda. So now we are on May 12th, and Elon Musk says that they will stop accepting Bitcoin for purchases. Okay. He also said, though, that when energy consumption comes down, when it becomes much more clean energy, then they will start accepting a Bitcoin again. And so I pulled out this chart, which kind of shows you more or less where we were when Elon Musk. So if you look at the power consumption before, this is the power consumption of the network. And you can see the power consumption of a network has greatly decreased. But more than that, if you look at the charts, I don't have those charts here, but if you look at it, what you can see is that at the same time, China banned Bitcoin mining. So in that period, China also banned Bitcoin mining. And what that caused was it caused the migration of all the bad kind of Bitcoin mining to go to areas outside of China where people were using more renewable and more environmentally friendly sources. So that's the history lesson. Then we fast forward to the 19th of May. Remember, 12th of May is when Elon Musk published this tweet over here. 12th of May, he said they stopped accepting Bitcoin. And then on the 19th of May, and probably because he got a whole lot of flack, he says, he published this tweet, and the tweet said, Tesla has diamond hands. So Tesla's not selling, Tesla has diamond hands. And the reason why that happened was because if you look at the Bitcoin price between the 12th of May and the 19th of May, let's go there, let's have a look at it so that you can see. So 12th of May, we were at, let's zoom in a little bit, make it a bit bigger. So 12th of May is here. So look at that. And the price of Bitcoin collapsed, and the price of Bitcoin went from, let's just go to 12th of May. There we go, 12th of May, and let's go to 19th of May. There we go, so 19th of May. You can see the price of Bitcoin went down by 50% because Elon Musk announced that. And so what did he do? Well, he said, no, we're not selling, Tesla has diamond hands. That was his reassurance. And what you'll remember is that Cathie Wood from ARK is one of Elon Musk's biggest investors, and she's a huge Bitcoin bull. And there was speculation that what happened there was that Cathie Wood intervened and said, Elon, you got to do something because the whole world's panicking because you guys stopped accepting Bitcoin because of the ESG narrative. And then they had that whole seminar with Cathie Wood, with Jack Dorsey, and with Elon, and he reiterated how much he believes in Bitcoin. He then, in that seminar, he also said that he believed in Bitcoin, and he personally holds Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Dogecoin. You remember that? All right, now let's fast forward to last night. Last night our time, yesterday morning, probably your time if you're in the United States. What did we get yesterday? Well, what we got was the financials, Tesla's financials published. And if you look at the numbers here, this is where you're going to get all the clues that you need to get. So this is where you see that Tesla sold their Bitcoin. You're also going to see the income, what it did to their income statement and their balance sheet and all their financials. So let me break it down for you. Let me go through the financials for you bit by bit. The first thing is they sold their Bitcoin for just over $900 million, and they took a loss of $106 million. And if you look at this line over here, which is called restructuring and other, they took a $142 million hit. And part of that $142 million hit is the fact that they sold their Bitcoin for a $106 million loss. That's the first thing you need to look at. Second thing you need to look at is you need to look at Tesla's revenue. So notice that their revenue in Q1 was just under 10 billion. It went to 11.5 billion. In Q4 last year, it went to 15 billion. In Q1 this year, it went to 15.5 billion. And now in Q2, there was a drop in Tesla revenue. So you can see that there was a huge, significant drop in Tesla revenues. You can also see that there was a drop in their profits from quarter to quarter. So between Q1 and Q2, they had a big drop in profits. So keep that in mind as we're reading these financials, okay? The next statement that we're going to look at is we're going to look at the balance sheet. And the balance sheet shows that they sold just over $1 billion, just under $1 billion because they took a knock. But in the previous quarter, they had $1.2 billion worth of digital assets, whatever that means, Bitcoin and Dogecoin. Remember, it's Bitcoin and Dogecoin. And now they've got about $218 million worth of Bitcoin left, which means they sold 75% of their Bitcoin holdings. Okay, so that's what the balance sheet shows us. Where this gets super interesting is when you look at the statement of cash flows. So Elon Musk said that the reason why they sold their Bitcoin was because they were scared of China lockdowns and supply side interventions, right? Let's actually listen to it again so that we all aligned. Let's quickly just go there. I think it's about there.
Moved into production, and their costs are now reflected in automotive COGS. Additionally, we converted a majority of our Bitcoin holdings to fiat for a realized gain, offset by impairment charges on the remainder of our holdings, netting a $106 million cost to the P&L included within restructuring and other. We also incurred restructuring charges related to targeted staffing reductions.
Yeah, actually, it should be mentioned that the reason we sold a bunch of our Bitcoin holdings was that we were uncertain as to when the COVID lockdowns in China would alleviate. So it was important for us to maximize our cash position given the uncertainty of the COVID lockdowns in China. We are certainly open to increasing our Bitcoin holdings in future. So this should not be taken as some verdict on Bitcoin. It's just that we were concerned about overall liquidity for the company given COVID shutdowns in China. And we have not sold any of our Dogecoin.
Okay, the last part, very important. Remember that part. And we have not sold any of our Dogecoin. But so what Elon Musk claims is that he claims that because of the restrictions and the lockdowns in China, which you can see, he was worried about supply side restrictions. And that means that he was worried that they wouldn't be able to supply cars. But this is where it doesn't make sense to me. If I look at Tesla's balance sheet, Tesla's balance sheet, let's go back to the balance sheet actually. And I look at the cash and cash equivalents on Tesla's balance sheet. They've got, last quarter, they had $17.5 billion worth of cash. And this quarter, they've got $18.324 billion worth of cash. My question is, if you're a company and your company is not burning that much cash, and I'll show you that in a second, do you really need to liquidate your Bitcoin to get $1 billion back if you've got $17 billion of cash in the bank or cash and cash equivalents? So let's look at this cash flow statement. So look at the cash flow statement. You can see that their net cash flow provided from operations was actually positive. They got $2.3 billion from operations, from normal month-to-month, quarter-to-quarter operations, just selling cars, etc. They got $2.3 billion worth of cash. Then they spent about $1.7 billion, which was the same as the previous quarter, on capital expenditure. And here you can see that they got an additional $936 million from selling their Bitcoin, bringing the total cash flow of the period from, instead of being negative, to 847. If they hadn't done that, they would have been more or less where they were last. They would have been just under $100 million. And so there is speculation that the reason why Elon Musk did this is to make this cash flow positive. So to go from being negative cash flow to positive cash flow. People are saying, yes, they're building a business in China. I hear you. But do they need $18 billion right now to be building a business in China? Sounds weird. Sounds weird. So if that is the case, and that is what the numbers are telling us, what do we make of this? What actually happened? Okay, so let's look at all the different scenarios. The first scenario is that Elon Musk is being honest. And if he is being honest, then the scenario is that they need the operations because they're building a plant in China, and they're scared of the COVID lockdowns, and they want to just have as much cash as possible all in one place so that they can spend it and they don't have to worry about it. Kind of makes sense, maybe, maybe not. To me, that's probably the weakest argument. I think if we want to see why they sold, we should probably look at where they sold. So they bought at about $31,000. No one knows exactly what they bought for, but let's say $31,620. They sold around here. So they sold in this period around June. Let's go to this period around June and just look at where the markets were around June. So let's quickly go to June. Hold on a second. Let's just get the charts right here. Okay, let's go to June, May, and June. So there we go. When did they sell? They sold in this period over here just after the first part of the lunar collapse. And you can kind of think that if they netted an average price of 28,000, they caused this cascade of liquidations. They may have been the ones to trigger this cascade of liquidations. So another reason why they may have sold, which maybe makes more sense to me, is because they don't have diamond hands. Is because they got spinach hands. And that really makes a whole lot more sense to me. Why? I mean, possibly they could have had a stop loss. So they could have had a decision that said, look, if our Bitcoin purchase goes down by more than 10%, which kind of makes sense. So if the Bitcoin purchase goes down from 31,620, and if it triggers a 5% or 10% stop loss, as a company, we're going to liquidate 75% of our Bitcoin. That's just what we do. It's when we buy the Bitcoin, we make an executive decision, and we want to protect ourselves because it is a speculative asset, and we put a 10% stop loss. That could be another reason. But probably those aren't good enough reasons. Maybe another reason is this. Maybe this is the reason. Listen to this.
Sold a bunch of our Bitcoin holdings.
Let's go a little bit forward.
Given the uncertainty of the COVID lockdowns in China, we are certainly open to increasing our Bitcoin holdings in future. So this should not be taken as some verdict on Bitcoin. It's just that we were concerned about overall liquidity for the company given COVID shutdowns in China, and we have not sold any of our Dogecoin.
Maybe why they sold their Bitcoin is because Elon Musk is getting really serious about Dogecoin. Otherwise, why wouldn't they have sold their Dogecoin first? Maybe because the position wasn't big enough. I hear you, but maybe it is because they are building a Dogecoin strategy, and part of the Dogecoin strategy says we're going all in on Dogecoin. I don't believe that's the case, but maybe. All right, let's look at some other reasons why we believe that Elon Musk may have sold his Bitcoin. I'm going to it gets a little bit more interesting now. So it could be because there was a stop loss. It could be because they got panicked by Luna. It could be because they want to go all in on Dogecoin. It could be because they want to go all in on Dogecoin. It could be because they need money because they're building their plant in China. Or maybe it is just because they want to distract the media. And if they do want to distract the media, what better way is there to distract the media than to activate the Bitcoin community? What better way? You got the most passionate community in the world of hundreds of millions of people, and you know that it's the most passionate community in the world. So if you were Elon Musk and you wanted to distract the media from something, then maybe the best way to do it is to say, hey, we've sold 75% of our Bitcoin. What are you trying to distract the media from? Well, for one, you may be trying to distract the media from your poor results. Your sales went down quarter on quarter. Your cash flow went down quarter on quarter. Your revenue went down quarter on quarter. Yes, your profitability went up from Q1 last year, but your profitability went down for the first time in a whole lot of quarters. Maybe that's it. Maybe Elon Musk wants to distract the media from his Twitter case, because you know that yesterday or recently the Delaware court judge ruled that the case between Elon Musk and Twitter must be expedited. Listen to this.
Headlines just crossed the Bloomberg that the Delaware judge has allowed Twitter to expedite its lawsuit against Elon Musk. We knew there were hearings being held in the Delaware Chancery Court right at this hour. They have already ruled they are going to allow them to expedite that.
Okay, so that happened yesterday or day before yesterday. Maybe Elon wants to distract them from that. Okay, maybe Elon wants to distract them from the fact that there's allegations coming out that he's got hundreds of kids. He actually reminds me of this guy. I don't know if you guys saw this, but let me show you this quickly because you'll laugh. This guy over here. I don't know if you guys saw this on my Twitter, but there is this 87-year-old former postman who has been proven to have fathered over 1,300 children. Okay, so maybe Elon Musk is like the postman, and that's what he's trying to distract the media from. Okay, so that's all the reasons why possibly Elon Musk and Tesla dumped their Bitcoin, and I don't think it is because of what he said it is, but it could be any one of those reasons that I just showed you guys. Now, let's look at what it actually means for the rally. First of all, and probably the most important, is when Elon Musk sold, when Elon Musk bought, the price of Bitcoin went up 17% in a day. I don't know if you remember that. I showed you the chart. Okay. Someone's saying, yeah, Dad. Love that. When they sold, Bitcoin went down 3%. In fact, Bitcoin hardly moved. Bitcoin was at 23,700. And when Tesla market results came out and people found out that it happened, Bitcoin's price went down to 23,200. So that basically did nothing. Also, that to me is a sign. Why is that a sign? Because I tweeted yesterday and I said, when the market doesn't respond to one of the biggest companies in the world and one of the most influential people in the world who started this bull market arguably, when the market doesn't respond to them selling, it's probably a good sign. It's probably a sign that all the liquidations are out in the market. The market's heard all the bad news. Whoever's left here are real Bitcoin holders. These are people that want to hold. So that's another good sign, is that the market didn't actually move from doing it. And this is possibly the worst news that we can get. I want to show you another bit of good news. Let's go to Glassnode. And let me just log in here quickly. I am using my phone, so this might not work, but let's try. What we are seeing here, and this is something that we haven't seen for a long time, but let's look at Bitcoin addresses with less than 0.1 Bitcoin. What we're seeing here is we're seeing an exponential growth in Bitcoin adoption. And what happened is that a huge corporation sold their Bitcoin, and the people that picked it up were actually the sardines, were actually the small fish in the sea. So what we're seeing is we're seeing big corporations, centralized corporations, sell their Bitcoin, and the buyers of those Bitcoin are the small fish. So that's again another huge sign. So I think, look, net, it's something that already happened in the past. At least we know they've sold 75%. It may have moved the market back then, but at least now that's over. And it didn't manage to move the market now. So to me, net, it's a positive. What it does is it brings the charts back to where we needed the charts to be, which is where Sheldon showed us, where Kyle showed us. I mean, Kyle's obviously much more negative. Kyle thinks the charts are going to where?
No, I don't. I'm not saying that. We're just coming into resistance.
Okay, so he says we're just coming into resistance. There we go. You can see going back to the trend line. Let's see if it bounces. If it does go under 22,000, then brace for impact. Or what's the line? Brace for impact. If it goes
under like 21.5 and closes there, yeah,
we brace for impact. Okay, then we throw everything away and we pack up the studio. What?
No, we can short it and we'll still make money.
We buy. The answer is, gentlemen, we buy. All right, so that's the Elon Musk story. What do you think? Let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know why you think Elon Musk actually sold his Bitcoin. I'm dying to hear what you think. I couldn't sleep last night because it came out at like 10 o'clock at night for us. And I was on Twitter until like 12. And then I couldn't sleep because I kept thinking, why did Elon Musk sell his Bitcoin? Why did Elon Musk sell his Bitcoin? And here we go. Now we know why Elon Musk sold his Bitcoin. Tell Fred that he needs to find out where our guest is. And the reason why I want our guest to come in as quickly as possible is because what if I told you that I had a guest who called the bottom to the absolute, he called the bottom to the day, okay? Watch this. Or in fact, just listen to this. To the day. Are you listening?
Add our market bottom. And if you missed our other videos, we talked about the market bottom with this yellow line crossing the red line, that we just had this cross. We've only had it 2 other times. Both of those times were at or days before the market bottom. And then we covered in another chart with the 4-day death cross. We usually have that cross about 40 days before our market bottom, which would put our market bottom either at this week or next week.
So that was in June, and that was literally called the bottom. So we're hopefully going to get Steve on the show in a few minutes.
He's having a bit of a connection issue. We're trying to resolve it.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I think you don't have to stop me. I got a whole lot to talk about. Let's talk about what I spoke to you guys about yesterday, which was the German pipeline. Remember I said to you that one of the risks that could happen and could happen as soon as today, or what's going to happen today, is whether Russia would resume gas supply using Nord Stream 1 to Germany, right? Remember I said we spoke about that? Okay, so look what happened. They did actually open the gas pipeline. Everything is fine. It is flowing at 40%, which is exactly what they expected. So we are getting gas to Europe and everything is fine. So don't worry about that. Everything's fine. Germany is getting gas, is getting gas again. And I think for now, the next crucial date, as they say, is the 26th of July. Okay, so that's the first thing. Next up, we have inflation. Okay, so next up, we have Europe, and something huge has happened in Europe. And what happened in Europe is that the ECB, which is the European Central Bank, get this, they increased interest rates for the first time in 11 years. 11 years. The first time in 11 years, the ECB has now increased interest rates. So they used to have negative interest rates. And not only did they increase interest rates, but they increased interest rates by 0.5%, when everyone thought that if they were going to increase interest rates, they were only going to increase interest rates by 0.25%. So what they did was they increased interest rates by 0.5%, which was, as I said, expected of 25 basis points. Now, look what happened when that happened. The first thing that happened when that happened is the Dixie smashed down. You see, look at that big red candle. The dollar index went from 107 all the way down to 106, which is huge in dollar terms. It's not big for Bitcoin, but it is huge. And then an hour later, it's like nothing ever happened. At the same time, you got the euro to the dollar. Now, remember that the euro to the dollar were actually at parity, right? Remember that they were they were at one euro equals $1. Well, here you can see that happen over here. Well, that jumped to 102.7. It's now back at 102. So people are now putting more money into euros because they're hoping to not be penalized for doing it. Why is Europe doing this? Well, they're doing it for the same reasons that the US is doing it. Why? What are the reasons? They've got rampant inflation. And they need to slow down the economy. And the only way to slow down the economy is to increase interest rates. So here we go. So Lagarde says it's time to expect inflation to be undesirable. No kidding, because if you look at the ECB's inflation, I mean, that's what it looks like. It looks like an exponential chart of a shitcoin, basically. So that's kind of like what it looks like. See, that's what it looks like. So what they did is they finally, after 11 years, they finally did something. And what did they do? They increased the interest rates. And they increased interest rates by 0.5%. Fred, I'm running out of things to say here, bro. I'm going to have to start talking about video games. Yes, I'm going to talk to you about video games, because another bit of news that we heard today is we heard that Minecraft, or not actually Minecraft, but the studio that is owned by Microsoft that built games like Minecraft, okay? What they've said is they've said no to NFTs. They basically said, listen, great, blockchain technology is amazing, NFTs are amazing, but they're not for us, and we're not going to integrate them into Minecraft or into any of the games that we produce. Weird. Why would you not want to integrate this new and amazing NFT technology? Well, what they're saying is to kill that, sorry, I'm using my phone for internet. They're saying that the reason why they don't want to do it is because it's not inclusive. They're saying that, in fact, let's just quickly read their statement. They came out with a statement, and they said, look, it's just not inclusive. It's just they don't want to transform their games into profit mechanic things. They want to be completely exclusive. And what they think is going to happen, they say NFTs are not inclusive of all our community and creates a scenario with haves and have-nots. Now, I don't know if I believe that. I think I'm more on the Yatsu side of things. And what Yatsu says is because they part of Microsoft, and Microsoft is centralized. And what they did is, without any process, what they did was they just said, okay, well, we're not doing NFTs anymore. And tough luck. That's basically what it is. Minecraft has directly caused pain and suffering to an innocent, blameless minority who was purged and cleansed without regard to their circumstance, without advance notice, causing at least $100 million in damages. That's what happened when Minecraft banned this. Minecraft has no evidence that operating NFTs are harmful to the community, given the vast majority of players are not engaged in any blockchain version. Previous term did not allow NFT or blockchain implementations of Minecraft have existed before. So anyway, so that's pretty much what's going on. It's Microsoft saying, no. We want to keep our centralized monopoly. We don't want to let blockchain technology in, because I think that blockchain technology is actually becoming, or is going to be, way more inclusive than having to pay Microsoft a license fee and whatever else. So you make of it what you want. I've made of it what I want. Is Fred going to bring us a guest? Well, I mean, I don't understand.
Sorry, Ran, we are having issues getting in. We've tried 100
Fred,
things.
Will you do it? Will you do the charts?
I'll bring Carl on for that.
No, I've got another guest for us. I've got another guest for us. So remember we spoke about remember we spoke about Kucoin. And there was a whole lot of FUD around Kucoin potentially going bust, et cetera, et cetera. And I said to you, I read you guys their financial results, and I showed you that they raised hundreds of millions of dollars, or $150 million at a $10 billion valuation. Well, they've just done it again, and they've announced another raise, but it's a small raise. And this time it's a raise for a very significant reason. So I've got Jing Cheung from Kucoin. Jing, welcome, buddy.
Hello, Ran. Glad to
How
be
are you?
here.
That's good to have you guys here. You guys have been amazing sponsors to our show. And obviously, when someone attacks our sponsors, we want to protect our sponsors. Last time, when people said that Kucoin was going to go bankrupt, we just read the results, the numbers, and we showed them a great benchmark. One of the benchmarks that we showed people was that you guys have got 10 million. You guys have just passed the 10 million trader mark, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we achieved that through the fundraising in this May. Yeah.
Amazing. Tell me about the new fundraise, because you guys raised another, was it $10 million today?
Yeah, exactly. Like you just mentioned, the amount itself is not that big, but actually for Kucoin, the money is not the priority. Actually, what we care more is about like the synergy between Kucoin and SIG. I'm not sure if you are familiar with SIG, because they are relatively like no profile in the last few decades. But if you are trading like US stocks or US options, you will know like SIG is one of the biggest like derivatives trading firms in the US. So that's why we believe, and also they are trying to increase their presence in Web3, in blockchain, in crypto. So that's why we find a lot of synergy between the two parties. And that's what we are super excited about this partnership.
And what are you going to use the 10 million for?
I think, as we all know, currently we are in the bear market, right? But actually for Kucoin, we always think the bear market is a perfect time to build. So for Kucoin, in short, we will use the funds in 3 ways. The first one is to improve our system infrastructure. Yeah, it's quite important because imagine in the next bull run, as the crypto is going to mass adoption, right? We will be able to onboard a lot more new users in the crypto. So we want to ensure like our infrastructure, our trading system can be prepared for that. Yeah, and also the fund will help Kucoin to expand globally and also to support our hiring plans. Because even in the crypto winter, the Kucoin team is still expanding. Yeah, we still have around like 300 job openings to be filled. Yeah, and also as you might know, Kucoin started as a centralized trading platform, right? But we are also trying to go beyond centralized trading platform. We are trying to tap into the Web3 world. Actually, in the first half of this year, we have launched like our NFT marketplace, our own decentralized wallet, and more amazing stuff. So we are also trying to build a very robust, decentralized Web3 world.
Amazing. All right, so at least we know that Kucoin is in good shape, because when we heard the FUD, we were quite upset. We were like, because we knew you guys were strong. But, you know, it looks like people were trying to create FUD. So well done. Amazing. We're very proud of you. We're very proud of your sponsors. You guys have always been good to us. You've been amazing to our community. You've given them amazing discounts, bonuses, giveaways. So thanks, Jing, very, very much. Thank you, my friend.
Thank you for your time.
All right, so it doesn't seem like Fred is going to get Steve on today. We'll have to, we're going to have to get Steve on another time. But what we can do is it gives us time for some Q&A. Let's have some fun. Let's have some Q&A with our community, touch base with you guys. How you guys going? What questions have you guys got? Let's talk about Elon. We've got about 5 minutes. Let's have some fun. Post your questions.
First question.
What's the first question? Can I borrow 400 million, please? What do you want to do with 400 million? Kucoin say no to FUD. Yeah, 100% right. 100% right. I think it was just a FUD campaign, like there was more FUD campaign. So they say Steve is the best TA guy. I know. We're trying to get him on, but I don't know. Fred.
We've tried. I think we've tried 26 times. There's a StreamYard issue. I feel really bad. Sorry, guys.
$100 fine. Yeah?
That's terrible, Fred. Bad form, Fred. Bad form. People
He's
asking when
he was super excited to be here, and we were already discussing the next dates because this is quite unfortunate. But yeah, we've tried 100.
Do we have a banter tomorrow, Freddie boy? Is there a banter tomorrow?
There is indeed.
And who is coming on to banter tomorrow?
Tomorrow is Hasib, Vinny, and Electric Capital's coming on. His name's Avichal.
Oh, amazing. Oh, so it's all the VCs tomorrow. It's going to be huge. It's going to be fun. It's going to be huge. All right. It's going to be massive. So people asking what's Steve's last name. Steve Courtney is his last name. Steve Courtney. What do I think about Moonbeam? I like Moonbeam. If you think that Polkadot is going to work, and you think that Ethereum is going to work, well, Moonbeam is your best bet because it's almost like a Ethereum on Polkadot. It's an EVM compatible chain on Polkadot. So I like it. Your Binance referral bonus never worked. Get hold of Binance customer support. It should work. We have had some people that said it didn't, and when they did, I just reached out to customer support and it worked. Hey, Ron, how much Shiba Inu do you have? This is a bear market. In a bear market, I want to hold quality. My portfolio has been narrowed down a lot. Even a lot of the stuff that I was holding in the bull market, that I had conviction in the bull market, unfortunately, I sold it all. Not all, but a lot of it, because I don't know how many of these projects can make it if we do get a prolonged bear market. So right now, the good coins are so cheap that I'd rather be buying the good coins. I'd be buying Rune at $2, and I'd be buying Solana at $30, and I'd be buying Nia at $3, and I'd be buying, Stargate at 35 cents. To me, like that's probably a better bet than taking all those speculative bets. So it's not that I don't believe in all those projects, but on a risk-return basis, I may as well buy things that I know for sure are going to work. Again, people are saying your BYBIT link. If you guys want to sign up with the exchange links, just go to the description below. Tomorrow, we'll do some 10x BYBIT and some 10x BitGet giveaways. We'll give you guys another day, and then we'll 10x a campaign. Did I close my long? It's a sad story, actually. I got wicked out last night with the Tesla results. So my Cardano long, I closed 100,000 Cardano long with Sheldon, and the rest I got wicked out at my entry price. So it's made a small profit. I suppose a profit is a profit, but I know I'm going to be able to buy it back cheaper. So that's cool. Bring on. Do I still hold Sunny? Yes, I do still hold Sunny. It's not worth much, but I still hold it. But it's not worth much. Tell Sheldon to do live trading more often, please. Okay, you said it. Hold on a second. Let's phone him. Hold on. Let's phone him. Hope this doesn't cut my internet. It could. You know what? He's not going to answer, and I'll tell you why he's not going to answer. Because he's go-kart racing. He's go-kart racing. I know he's not. He's bought a go-kart, so I bet you he's go-kart racing around around the track. All right. Who else? Do I still hold Vader? Yes, I do hold Vader. The reason why I hold it is because it's gone down so much. It's probably not worth selling. I don't believe in it anymore. The reason why I don't believe in it anymore is because Vader was an algorithmic stablecoin, and we now know that algorithmic stablecoins don't work. So, or at least we haven't seen one that works. So yeah, that's where I stand on Vader. Well, I'm not going to tell you what Sheldon's number is. Okay, let's quickly talk about. Let's do one more question. Coty, do I believe in Coty? Yes, of course I believe in Coty. There is good news coming out on Coty actually, but I'm not allowed to talk about it. But it's big. It's big. It's huge. I'm not allowed to talk about it though. I'm not allowed to tell you. And this time I'm not telling you. Kucoin giveaway. We'll do Kucoin giveaway. We'll do tomorrow. BYBIT, Kucoin, and BitGet giveaways tomorrow on the show. So if you don't have money in your accounts, open an account and we'll do it. Someone just said I leaked Sheldon's number. Fuck, that's a problem. Okay, James, you have to delete it. All right, boys, I'll see you guys, boys and girls. I'll see you guys again tomorrow. Until then, I've got to go and delete Sheldon's number. Bye.